If you are a person who knows you want to change something about your life or behavior, but you just can't figure out what to do or what to start with, this video is going to be for you. Today we are going to talk about how to design your life. Now, I want to put a disclaimer before we get into anything. I am not a designer. However, my name's Karin, and I am a behavior change expert. I have a PhD where I spent 4 years studying mindset, human behavior, and things like habit formation and the real science behind self-help. Today, I'm going to use that knowledge and I'm going to walk you through a 4-step design process that's going to teach you exactly how to design a life where you're going to feel happier, healthier, and more fulfilled. There are actually 4 steps that we're going to go over in this design your life process. And these are the same steps that we use with our clients when we're designing their lives. Now, those steps are ideation, prototyping, testing, and feedback. First, you're going to start with ideation. Often when we want to design our life, when we want to change our life in some way, we think we have to make a decision immediately about what that's going to look like. We sit down with a piece of paper in front of us and we want to write out our whole plan immediately. But what that doesn't do is that doesn't give us any space for creativity, thinking, brainstorming. So I want you to back up a second and I want you to actually just let your brain go crazy. What are all of the different habits you might want to try out, all of the different goals you might want to set, all of the things that have worked before or not worked before, all the things you've seen on Pinterest or Instagram or wherever that might help you out. I want you to put them all on a piece of paper or a whiteboard. I'm going to do it live with you right now, so pull out that piece of paper and do it with me, and then I want to hear at least 2 or 3 of your ideas in the comment section. Ready, set, go. Okay, so I've written my ideas on the board and I'm going to walk you through them just to give you kind of a glimpse of what my brain is doing. So a couple of things that I've seen recently that I might want to try. Number 1, taking cold showers. Not sure about the science behind those, but I may want to test it out. Potentially running a half marathon next year, doing some sort of goal relating to like eating 100 plants so that I eat more vegetables. Dropped my marker. 5 a.m. wake-ups. Maybe doing daily chores instead of like the big Sunday reset that I typically do. Giving up dairy for a little while. I'm a little bit lactose intolerant and I think that might maybe make me feel better. Setting another powerlifting goal, going to the gym early in the morning. So if you remember, step number 2 is all about prototyping. Prototyping is basically taking a small version of something and testing it out for a little while before you commit to the full thing. This is a great thing to do before you actually commit to a goal, especially if you have issues with follow through. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to look at this giant list of goals that you've set for yourself, and you're going to pick 1 or 2 that you want to try first. I want to really emphasize that, try first. It doesn't mean that you can't change your life in all of these different ways. It just means asking yourself, what feels the most exciting to me right now? What feels the most accessible to me right now? What's something that I could play around with? That's going to be stage number 2, is you're going to decide what to prototype. I personally am an essentialist. I prefer to only be focused on 1, maybe 2 things at a time, so I'm going to pick 1 thing to try. So I've picked that the first thing I'm going to do to try redesigning my life is to switch to doing daily chores instead of a big Sunday reset. So right now what I do is I spend like 3 or 4 hours cleaning every Sunday, but I really wanted to try out doing like 20 or 30 minutes of cleaning every day to see if that helps. So that is what I'm choosing to prototype. Let's talk about step 3 of this process, which is testing. So in the last step, what I did was I chose to focus on daily chores instead of a Sunday reset. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna decide exactly what that looks like and how long I'm going to do it. So for me, I've decided that daily chores means that I'm gonna spend 30 minutes each morning, because mornings are typically when I feel the best and when I have the most ability to control my behavior. I'm gonna spend 30 minutes each morning doing a house reset and doing one tiny chore. I'm gonna make a list of all the chores that I normally do on Sunday, and I am going to put that list somewhere so I can cross one off every single day. And then I'm gonna decide to do this for a period of 1 month. So for the first month of 2023, for the month of January, I am going to do this. And then after that, I'm going to reevaluate. Here's the thing though, most people do not do this step. I want you to think about the last time you chose a new habit or you set a new goal for yourself. You probably told yourself you would do it indefinitely. You probably said, I'm gonna start getting up early, ... What's the end date? This is why people jump from goal to goal to goal and never feel like they're designing their life in a streamlined way, because they don't give themselves a concrete container in which they are testing a certain behavior or approach. So that, if you remember anything from this video, I want that to be the thing you remember. Step 4 is that you are going to evaluate at the end of that testing period. So at the end of January, I'll sit down and I'll ask myself, did this work for me? Did I stick with it? Is there anything I want to change or adjust about my approach? And how long do I want my next testing phase to last? If you approach your life this way, you're gonna be constantly testing new things for short periods of time. That's gonna give you a great sense of fun and excitement and novelty, which is something that we desperately need as adults, but it's also gonna give you a concrete way to actually follow a step-by-step process and redesign your life. If you are looking for a next step, what I want you to do is I want you to go back to my previous video, I'll link it here, where I talked all about how to set goals you'll actually follow through on. Because that might help you narrow down that big list that you have on your piece of paper and figure out which one of those goals that you might want to start with first if you are having difficulty make that decision. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm talking about goal setting, life redesign, and the real science behind change all month this month and pretty much permanently on this channel. So I would love to have you along for the ride. See you later.